Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday, 8 o'clock, actually 8:05. We ran 5 minutes over for this particular show. And glad you people are here. And as per usual, before we start, if you would like to make a donation to Rafter's Tavern, because we're trying to keep the music alive here in beautiful Callicoon, New York, and trying to survive this pandemic with all of you. It's tough times for everybody. But if you would like to donate, if you enjoy the show, you can do so at www.venmo.com/rafters-tavern. Once again, that's www.venmo.com/rafters-tavern. That being said, it's pretty hot out there right now. Hopefully all of you are comfortable in air conditioning. We are actually quite warm where we are under these lights. And tonight's guest is absolutely fantastic, beautiful voice, and she has a new album out. And I had it to show you a moment ago, but now because we're also going live on Instagram, I don't have it to show you, but you can find it on Spotify. Please welcome, give a big round of applause. Here's my new toy, by the way. The applause sign. At home, give a big round of applause. Emily Rose Keating.
Was a young girl, my body had a name. Its job was to get me to the college where you were safe. I can think of one cold day my palms didn't sweat. There was a lot of time, but I didn't know it. Push out, why don't you get out? Why don't you move out of my pretty little mind and let go? Let it pass by. Sometimes it feels like my mind controls me, and please go. I need a window. Please go. I need a window. 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 The bus stop I waited at had a sticker place on the glass where I made up songs where it rained. It was for a radio show I dreamed of being on. Now I take steps to this land where I truly belong. Push out, why don't you get out? Why don't you move out of my pretty little mind and let go? Let it pass by. Sometimes it feels like my mind controls me, and please go. I need a window. Please go. I need a window. 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 I need. Oh, don't you feel my pain? Oh, why don't you find a way? Oh, don't you feel my pain? Why don't you find a way? Push out, why don't you get out? Why don't you move out of my pretty little mind and let go? Let it pass by. Sometimes it feels like my mind controls me. And please go. I need a window. Please go. I need a window. I need a window. I need a window. Thank you.
Beautiful, absolutely fantastic. I know you all are applauding at home. That there is a hit. Yeah, turning this way would be great.
Okay, great.
For those of you who are new to the show, you might not realize, yes, we're in the same room right now. This line in the middle of the screen is French doors. So we can see each other, but we are completely separated. And everyone else in the room are 6 feet apart here. So that is an absolutely gorgeous tune. And
Thank you so
didn't
much.
you play that at the open mic?
I did. Actually, it's a funny story because I don't know if it's funny, but I made it that morning before the open mic. So it's really new. It's about like a week old.
It doesn't get fresher than that.
And I was really nervous to play it at the mic because I usually play like very polished songs. But I decided that it was more of a workshop environment where people were really kind. So I decided to just, as John Lennon says, like the best rehearsal is the performance. So that's what I did.
Well, I can attest that when Emily played that at the open mic, it did not sound like a brand spanking new song, that it was being workshopped or tested. It sounded, just as you heard it, like an amazing, polished song. And this is not on your new album.
No.
So you heard it here. It's not on her new album. Tell us about your album.
So I wanted to start out with something that, I'm writing now just to show you where I am now as an artist. But this EP I wrote, it feels very old to me because I wrote it 2.5 years ago. And it took a lot of time with my producers and different people on my team to figure out when to release it. I waited too long. I learned that being an artist now, you never wait. So it finally released about 3 months ago. Should I face here or here, by the way?
Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just
Yeah, so I finally had it released about 3.5 months ago. It's called Heart. You can find it everywhere, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. And it's basically 5 songs it's my journey from being a girl to a woman. And all the songs are about how I became a woman from being a girl, which is a journey that some women don't talk about, and I wanted to really talk about it. Yeah, so it's really from my heart, and that's why it's just called Heart. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So
Now, I think this might be universal information, but don't girls become women long before boys become men?
yes, I would agree with that, but I also think that it's different for every person. I technically was a woman, I felt, when I was 18, but it took me until about 23, 24 to truly step into what womanhood really is. And it's hard to define what womanhood is, but it's for, to keep it simple, it's knowing who you are and stepping into that power. It's empowerment. And this record was my way of stepping into my power. I went to very rigorous schools in New York City growing up, so I was always taught you have to be, I don't know, it was this mold, right? You have to go to the perfect college, you have to get into an Ivy League school. It's always what they saw you to be. So womanhood to me was no, this is who I am. So that's what the record is about.
not that I should have had a journey into womanhood, but I don't feel like I had any kind of journey into manhood. That sounds very serious, and it's like I mean, I think I probably only started feeling like a man like 5 years ago, and I'm 50. I'm 50.
It takes men longer. It's not your fault. It's like I think it's like physiological.
As long as it's not my fault, and I can wipe my hands.
Slow learner.
Of that, I'm a slow learner, as one of our audiences.
Well, biologically, you know, like we are, but we're here also to like, you know, spread our, like to create more people, you know, to create children. I think that's like one of our purposes. Not for every woman, but so I think that biologically, like we have to mature earlier to get ready for that. So it's not your fault.
It's not my fault. All right. Well, I have a lot more questions for you, but I would love to hear another song.
So I'll play a song off the record called Daddy.
Daddy. All right.
I found my way to go on my own road, and I'm in the house I was born. I learned how to love, and I went back. I did the bedroom and learned how to sing, and I finally rested and put my glory night on him, and I said on him, no. Looking in his eyes, I find a man not blind, and I've seen them all my life, but now I finally see a man who can love, a man who can love. And I said, a man who can love, and I said, it's true, yeah. Daddy, 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 I forgive you, and I thank you, and the relation between me and mom is a very different one, and I know now that it's not mine to sing. Can only give out my light, can only give out my light, I can only give out my light. And I said, it's true, oh yeah. Daddy, 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 I forgive you, and I thank you, and Daddy, I love you, Daddy, it's true. Daddy, where were you when everything was blue? You said, jump right back in the ocean, and I didn't even know. And he said, jump right back, and I said, jump right back, and I said, Daddy, I love you, Daddy, it's true. Daddy, where were you when everything was blue? You said, jump right back in the ocean, and I didn't even know him. He said, jump right back, and I said, jump right back, and I said, Daddy, 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 I forgive you, and I thank you, and and daddy, 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 I forgive you, and I thank you, and daddy, 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 daddy,
And that song is on the album, one
It
of
is.
the 5-song EP that you can find on Spotify by Emily Rose
Emily
Keating.
Keating.
So that was Emily Keating. You prefer Emily Keating?
Yeah, so my legal name, my full name is Emily Rose Keating, but my artist name, which I've finally officially chosen as Emily Keating.
So scrap the Rose part, folks. That does not exist anymore. Emily Keating on Spotify. That's one of the 5 songs on there. So that was a very personal song, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all my songs are personal. I don't know how to write from, I don't know. I feel like whenever I write, it has to come from that place. Otherwise, I just feel like I haven't done my job. I've never said that out loud.
Well, that makes me think about this particular question because I was reading what someone else had written about you, and it says that you learned how and why to be an artist. Now, the why was the one that I was curious about.
I think that everyone has a different purpose. Every single musician even has a different purpose. For me, I feel I think it's all about me helping people open up their hearts. I don't know, it always comes back to me to the heart, ever since I was a little girl. I think that it's always about the feeling, helping people feel more or access their feelings. I think a lot of like structures in our culture are like cold and surfaced, and for me at least, growing up in New York City, it felt that way. And my hope for you when you hear my music is to like liberate yourself. It's all about freedom, for me, like getting back to the heart. And everyone feels that and experiences that in a different way. For some people it's canoeing, but for me it's listening to music. So I want to do that for you. Like Regina Spektor, all these artists that I deeply love, that's what they helped me do. So that's why I'm an artist, to get people back to the feeling of everything that matters.
So Regina Spektor is one of your influences?
Deep influence, yeah. I remember the first time I listened to her song. Oh my god. It's such a visceral memory. I was on my bunk bed, and I remember just like it was like this like paralysis, like freezing, like listening to her just like shook my world. It made me think like, oh my god, I want to do that. Like it was that moment of like, oh my gosh, that's literally all I want to do. I make music like that. So I've been to a lot of her shows. I even went to her husband. I'm not going to say this out loud. Yes, I will. I went to her husband's show once, hoping that she would be there, and I met her in a bathroom because I didn't even know she was in the bathroom, but I met her. Yeah, I love her music a lot.
Well, you got to finish that story. So you met her in the bathroom. Did you say something?
I did. I was, again, this moment of paralysis. I was like, oh, like, I could not believe I'm meeting this person who, like, basically encouraged me to create this career. She hugged me. I'll never forget it. I just said, like, I basically love you. And she just gave me this beautiful hug, back when we could hug strangers. And I said to her, I just thanked her for doing what she does, you know? And then she said something very poetic, of course, because she's a genius. When she left the bathroom, she was opening the door, and then she was like, I'll always remember that I met you in a bathroom. Which me, like, I couldn't stop thinking about that line for like 2 weeks, because it made me think maybe she thinks that we'll see each other again. So it was very eerie. But anyway, Joni Mitchell, Florence and the Machine, Ani DeFranco. Those are probably the biggest influences of mine. Sylvan Esso. Those are basically my top influences. But Joni was huge for me. My mother played her a lot growing up, so her songs got really into my body at a young age. Yeah, but Regina's one of them.
I thought you were going to say that the meaningful information that she gave you in the bathroom was that toilet paper was going to be very important in the near future. Coronavirus, collect your toilet paper. Wait a second. The applause light is still going on.
Yes.
Now it's not.
Now we're back on air.
If you all have been applauding all this time, I'm sorry. You were supposed to be listening.
My hands are killing.
I know.
That's hilarious.
All right. What would you like to play for us next?
I'll play a song. For some reason, I am telling you about my record, but I want to play more songs that I've written recently. So this is going to be off my upcoming full-length record, which is going to be out in about 6 months. The record is called No Drama Club, and the song is called No Longer Lonely.
All right.
And I'll give you some context, actually, for the song. I usually don't describe songs before, but I was in Barbados, and, you know, I was walking one day. I felt a little lost, and I just met the kindest people that I've ever met in my life. They were just so sweet. And this song came from an inspiration from Barbados. Fell into his eyes and I made him a guide. Why? Love can make you blind. It's around you all the time. But the world got tired and mean as I looked for another to fulfill me. Then I looked at the moon. She was brighter than you. Couldn't get close to you, even though our love grew. It took months to see, and you don't really feel me. I went away so far, and where I can see the stars, and people are kind to me, and I am no longer lonely. I finally saw him there, and he looked so scared. I was loud in love, and you were closed up, and it took only days until I lost your gaze. I went away so far, and where I can see the stars, and people are kind to me, and I am no longer lonely. I saw his face like it was in front of my own. Eyes open, you're missing. A part of me is gone. I thought I could never be left here by myself. Standing here without you, I only need myself. I went away so far, and where I can see the stars, and people are kind to me, and I am no longer lonely, and I went away so far, and where I can see the stars, and people are kind to me, and I am no longer lonely. I'm no longer lonely. I went away so far, where I can see the stars, and people are kind. When I was no longer lonely. Thank you.
I turned it off. So hopefully everybody stopped applauding now, but another beautiful song there. So what was that one specifically about? Where did that one come from?
So I always said I would not write about heartbreak, but I just needed to. I was so sad that something did not work out with someone that it was perfect timing how my parents decided we were going to Barbados, just for like a week. It was definitely a treat to be able to go there. So I was like in such pain in my heart. I'll never forget it. Like on the plane, like, you know, that heaviness when you feel after a breakup. So I decided to write from that pain. And if I write from pain, it alchemizes, it turns into light. I feel like I'm so lucky as an artist that I have this thing that I can use to take my pain and to make it into something beautiful. Otherwise it gets stuck, in the body. So I wrote on the plane. I started writing words. So my process is I usually write a poem first. I just get it out, the idea. And then it's like a sculptor. I just like shape it. I just like hack at it for weeks until it turns into lyrics, which lyrics I've learned, it's really humbling to learn that, oh my gosh, there's always more to learn as a songwriter. And lyrics are so different than poetry. It's a different art form. You can be a poetic lyricist, but they're very different. So I've been hacking at it on the plane on the plane ride, I just wrote the poetry. So my entire trip, I was hacking at it. And I did not write the melodic, I didn't write the melody until I got back to the city. And I had this TC Helicon. Do you know what that is? It's a voice looper, but it also can make like really strange sounds on the vocals. So I found this like bass sort of, it was like this really hearty sort of bass vocal sort of track. And I wrote it from that bass track. And I never have played it live like that, but I think on the record, it's going to have more of that bass in my voice. So, yeah.
So of all the things that you just said, the one that sticks in my head that I'm going to ask about is why you made a decision early on to never write about heartbreak.
Because I just thought it was so boring. Like, so many people write about heartbreak. It's like, it's so overdone. And to do it well is really hard. So, but then I thought that was so elitist of me. Like, why shouldn't I do something that the world wants? Like, you want to turn on the radio when you're heartbroken and hear Taylor Swift singing about heartbreak, because I love Taylor Swift a lot. And she writes about heartbreak immaculately. It's like, it's beautiful the way so every artist, I realized, does it in their own way. And I finally, I threw out the idea that I didn't want to write about heartbreak. And I just started to write about it. I don't want every song to be about it, but love is a beautiful thing.
Well, that would be a pretty depressing existence if it was heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, and all of your songs were about heartbreak. Of course, as a songwriter, I know what you're talking about, but I agree with you 100% about what you're saying about turning something dark or sad, and that it becomes something good. Right? It becomes something better once you have it out. I've done that as well, and you did it beautifully right there.
Thank you.
So I'm torn. I have another question, but I also want to hear another song.
No, ask me anything. I love it, actually, being asked questions.
Okay, well, how do you want to be perceived? Like, if somebody meets you, hears your music, and they leave thinking three things. I think she's this, I think she's this, and I think she's this.
I think she's honest. I think she knows her craft. I think she's worked hard to develop a song. And I think I want to listen to her again. Like that feeling of like, I just want to hear her again and again.
See, that last one, to me, that's connection, right? That's like an alignment thing, which also, by the way, for me, also goes with writing about heartbreak, because it might be so cliche, but it's because everybody does it, right? You want to hear from somebody who does the same thing. That's great answers. Okay, and you came up with them fast. I thought that was going to stump you there. No stumping, Emily. What are you going to play for us next?
I'll play a song. So this is a bit scary. I wrote this literally 3 days ago, but I find it fun to play new songs, and I'm going to do it. I wrote it with a 10-year-old. He was just sitting there, and he came up with lyrics, and we wrote it together. So I give him 50-50 credit on this one. When I wake up, I think to myself, how can this be another day? Doors closed, quarantined, locked inside a big house, wondering, wish I could see my friends, and that this never happened. We're still here, we're still alive, we're people no matter why. Any color, any size, we're part of this special life. The president is wrong, we need to get along. Look in my eyes, you'll see a song. We're still here, we're still here. Sometimes I feel like this pandemic won't end. Through your mask I see you, I feel you, you're my friend. Change comes at a cost, don't worry, we're better than 2, 3. We're still here, we're still alive, we're people no matter why. Any color, any size, you're part of this special life. The president is wrong, we need to get along. Look in my eyes, I see a song. We're still here, we're still here. Can we be free? May we be free? May we be free? May we be free? May we be free? We're still here, we're still alive, we're people no matter why. Any color, any size, you're part of this special life. The president is wrong, we need to get along. Look in my eyes, I see a song. We're still here, we're still here.
What do you mean the president is wrong? What the? That? What? Well, I think I know what your politics are.
I'm not afraid to say it, yeah.
Bam! Yeah. Not afraid to
We
say it.
need to speak up, otherwise this monster is going to be there another 4 years. So, I decided to be political for my first time. It's not
I
the
think that was
essence
a
of what
good
the song's about. The song is actually about the pandemic, like how this has been so hard, but no matter what, we're here. Like, we are still here. We're still alive and thriving, and we can overcome anything. That's really what the song's about. It hits at the isolation that we felt, and I needed to finally write about it. How can we not write about what's happening? So.
Well, that and the president is wrong.
That's what he wants to talk about.
No, I don't want to talk about that. But I just thought it was interesting. So I know there's some people out there in the audience, and as some of you know, my lovely wife Molly behind the scenes there can look at the screen. And I know there's some people on Instagram Live right now, and there's some people on YouTube Live. I'm going to give you an opportunity to type in any questions that you might have for Emily. So get to thinking. How are we on time, Sweet Love?
We have 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes. So I am going to ask another question. We're going to have another song, and then I'm going to turn it over to the audience. So start thinking about what you would like to ask. My question to you is, what quality or way of being in any capacity, quality, habit, whatever, in yourself would you like to eradicate? What quality could you do without?
My perfectionism,
You're a perfectionist?
like to the point where it sabotages a lot of things. No, yeah, it's been since I was 5 years old. Like, I never think it's good enough. Yeah, I get in my head about how to order everything perfectly, how to, I'm never doing enough. Like, it's really this perfectionistic, which is, I know rationally perfection does not exist. But it's this like platonic ideal that I always try to get to. But it doesn't exist.
So in what ways does your perfectionism cost you?
I get OCD, or it's not how it manifests, how it costs me. Well, so an example, the other night I played in Woodstock because of my awesome friend Cass, and it was ridiculous because I thought I did an awful performance. Like in my head, when I got off, I was like, oh my God, it was so bad. And instead of receiving the love that people gave me because people loved it, to be honest, people were really in it. And then people were complimenting me when I got off stage, and I was in my head thinking, oh my God, I don't believe them. It really sucked. So it gets in the way of my joy and me progressing as an artist, because if I don't believe, I know what I believe in myself and I fully love what I'm doing, but I think I could do it without the perfectionistic part.
So what one step are you taking to get beyond that?
That's such a good question. I'm really proud of myself because instead of sometimes in my perfectionism, I don't create because I think, oh, that won't be a good song, or oh, it's not going to be perfect, right? Like, how can I write a song about such a grand thing? And instead of getting in my head about it, I wrote this song and the song that I first played because I was just like, no, just write. It doesn't have to be perfect, just write. And I think I came up with some good songs. So instead of getting here, I'm just doing now. More doing than thinking sometimes.
I think that's a pretty good rule. More doing than thinking. You should put that on a t-shirt. More doing, less thinking.
Yes.
Right? There we go. Round of applause in the audience for everybody there. Okay, what are you going to play for us next?
I think I'm going to go on the guitar. I'm going to play a song that I wrote about my mom, and it's going to be on my record, my upcoming record.
Mom song
It's called
on
Mom.
guitar.
Yeah.
It's just me up here now, and that's okay. Well, now, all right. I felt I was lonely for a minute, but
Oh,
but you're back. Okay.
Is this gonna fit? Let's see. I'll maneuver like this. Can you see me?
Yes.
Cool. I'm just gonna tune for a second. The thing with acoustic guitars is they really go out of tune so quickly, especially new guitars. And my perfectionism is like, if it's not exactly in tune, then we can't play, right? Does anyone have any questions in the audience?
Oh, they will. Don't you worry about that. If you want to move the mic also.
Oh yeah, how am I going to do that? Okay. Yeah, I might need a hand. I'm gonna go like this.
Welcome, Chip.
Chip Farrelly.
Chip saves the day. Perfect. Can you hear the guitar? Can you hear it?
Just play as loud as you can.
There's someone you got on me. She's fast like wind. She moves me. I'm gonna start when it's really quiet, just so you can hear the words, because I'm not plugged in. That's the only thing. Okay. There's someone you got on me. She's fast like wind. She moves and leaps. She is my mom, a part of me. She takes love so seriously, and I know. And I know to be grateful. And I know da-da-da-da-da. Here is my love, and wake me and shake me, and I am alive. She gave me this life, and there is really and all of the time to do things right. And I know here is my love, here is my love, here is my love, here is my love. Here is my love, here is my love. Every day we walked to school, we met every person, they were cool. She never judged my wild thoughts. We knew this time was just for us. And I know to be grateful. And I know da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and wake me and shake me, and I am alive. She gave me this life, and there is really and all of the time to do things right. And I know here is my love, here is my love, here is my love, here is my love. Here is my love, here is my love. Then wake me and shake me, and I am alive. She gave me this life, and there is really and all of the time to do things right. And I know here is my love, here is my love, here is my love, here is my love. 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 Here is my love, here is my love.
is a beautiful song. That is a love song, yes?
A love song to my mom, yeah. No, this is about just my gratitude for having a mom that she was so amazing. She still is. And when I was a little girl, I used to look at her like she was a superhero because she was a photographer, a very good one, and she would go on an assignment and then fly. Like I used to imagine her with a cape, and she would just fly to my school trip and meet us there. And she'd be the cool mom with like the candy. She used to like give out chocolates to the kids. She was so badass and awesome. And then I grew up and I realized like I need to write a song about my gratitude, you know? So this is just a song of like, thank you. So what I wanted to say in the song is like, I can offer you my love. Like, here is my love. That's the chorus.
So have you ever written not a breakup song, but a prose song about another relationship that you've had that's not your parents?
Like a good feeling love song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next one I was gonna play.
So I'm curious as to what the difference is when you said earlier that even though you didn't want to write about heartbreak, but it's okay to write about love songs, but there's just as many love songs as there are heartbreak songs.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I've decided that it's okay now to write about love.
Okay. Was it the negative feelings of it?
Joni Mitchell's whole Blue is about love. No, it was the fact I just didn't want to create something that's already been done, you know? I'm always like trying to see how I can do things originally, something that hasn't been done before. I feel like music gets very repetitive and boring, to be honest. Like so much of what's on the radio is just like this recycled material that's, you know, like Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran. But I feel like the record label recently has like made him create songs that sound very similar. Anyway, it's boring. So I always want to create music that's different from what I've done before. So I feel like love songs are a little scary because it's like, how can I write it fresh? But I think I'm doing it. I'm trying hard to make them new. I'm trying. That's all I can do.
Well, it sounds like you're doing great, and your stuff does sound new and amazing. I know, just like you said, one of the scary things about the music business is, with the exception of a few artists, in my opinion, people like Beck and others, somebody like the Talking Heads, right? Even though they were a little while back, these are people who had an eccentric way of writing, so that they could get away with a lot of different styles. However, a lot of record labels sometimes say, pick a lane. Pick a lane. We want to be able to identify you. We want to be able to market you and that kind of stuff. If that's your brand, that's your brand. And you have to like stick to it. It's kind of a scary idea, right?
Scary. I want to be signed, but I don't. I want to be signed by the right label. One that's not going to put me in that lane, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's been the big bet. Do people get, I mean, I don't know. I've been out of it a long time, but does anybody get signed anymore? It's like music business is so different now.
For sure. You just have to, the difference between now and then, at least what I know, is that you have to create an audience now. You have to have an audience already before getting signed. Whereas like Amy Winehouse, she had 0 fans, you know, when she got signed because they were like, oh my God. So that doesn't really happen anymore. Like the oh my God, it's like, oh my God, but let's see if you're following. So it's different now.
See, that's a good point. And one thing I was told a long time ago was that whether it's an agent, you know, or a label or anybody that you would have on your side, that they will generally only get involved with people who were going to make it anyway. They were going to make it without them. Yeah. And then they signed on to those people.
Yeah.
But anybody that they kind of have to help along the way, they're less inclined. At least that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it's kind of cool because it's more of like an entrepreneurship career now as a musician. You have to forge your way on your own. I actually like it. And then the people come to you. You have to do it. You know? That's
true. Well, social media has done wonders for those kind of things. So let me ask the audience real quick. I'm not seeing anything particularly coming up. Are there any questions for Emily? Any questions at all? but you might have said it all, and there's just no questions that they have as a result.
Oh, there's a question in the actual audience.
There's an easy one.
A question in the audience, yes.
Are you going to miss the country when you're back in the city now?
Are you going to miss the country when you're back in the city?
No, because I come here so frequently. No. The city feeds a part of me that I can't have fed here. I don't know. I grew up in the city, so it really feels like home there. Just the loud sounds, like it doesn't bother me. Well, it does. Obviously, if I'm on 42nd Street, it does. But I don't know. It feels. I love the city, but the mountains, I feel like they're always in me once I've been here. And when I come back, I appreciate it that much more because, like, oh my gosh, I can breathe like this actual fresh air. And my best friend is nature, so I can't be away from her for too long.
That makes sense. That actually, for some reason, this question popped into my head. It's kind of a coachy question, I have to say.
Oh, I like coaches.
Coaching questions of like one of the things I do when I'm on here. In your relationships, whether or not this is family or significant others, doesn't matter. In your relationships, what two things, whether these are qualities or ways of being, do you absolutely require from them to be part of your circle? It's non-negotiable. If they don't have these two things, they're not in.
Number one is kindness.
Kindness.
Oh my gosh, if you're not kind, I literally will not sit with you. I can't. It's like I have this visceral response when someone's mean. I just can't handle it. So if you're mean, you will not be my friend. I believe everyone's born nice, but they learn how to be mean, The other, I like the people that are in my circle are very direct or honest. I lived in Oregon for a year and love Oregon. Portland is a great city. But this thing that irked me a lot with people there was like this passive aggressiveness where they would not say in honesty, what they were feeling, because they had to be nice all the time. So kindness is really different than being nice, right? I think. Nice is like every single moment. If you're upset at me, tell me so we can talk about it. So that rambling is all to say that being honest, but that's so vague. Being direct, to be a direct person. Oh, and also, I think this goes along with that is, confrontational. Like I like people who can talk about things right away. Good, bad, whatever you're feeling. I just like I'm not afraid of confrontation.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I find that to be particularly interesting. A lot of people would not want that.
It's the Jew in me, I think. It's like the Israeli. I mean, I'm not Israeli, but my ancestors are from. I really feel like Israel is another home of mine. So Israelis are so blunt to the point where it can be a little vicious. I think there's a balance, So anyway, I think Jews are very this is it. This is the truth. They're very direct, which I love. I don't know. Yeah, to be non-confrontational is very annoying to me.
No, I think that's cool. I'm getting caught up in semantics a little bit because I'm thinking openness and directness are things, at least for me, right? That I would value. Confrontation, I always think is like somebody ready for a fight. I don't think that's what you mean, though.
No, confrontation to me means that if you're upset about something or if you want to talk about something, saying it and talking it through instead of letting it build up as a resentment.
Yeah.
And then it blowing up,
Cool. Makes sense.
I've never been asked that before. Those are the first two things I thought of.
Well, those are great answers. Every answer you've given so far is absolutely fantastic. And look, we covered stuff like who your influences are, and those are the kinds of questions that you're normally going to get. I'm particularly interested in how people are navigating life. So that's why I'll ask questions like that. It's like because we all have that in common, right? Yeah, those are great answers. Great answers.
You're giving amazing questions. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, really? Interviews can be so
it.
boring. You're so interesting.
I'm the new Colbert Report.
Yes, hire him as the new.
I am the next
Colbert,
Colbert
please.
Report. Okay, what song are you going to play for us now?
So it's a breakup song, but it's actually happy. It's about how I realized after parting with someone that what I was looking for the whole time was myself. It's called "I Need Me."
All right.
Yeah. Check. This way. Oh, the piano turned off?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Requires a repeat.
Shout out to this amazing restaurant and venue. I'm so happy I found you all. I want to post this on my media so that everyone can find out who you are, because music, I was so sad that, I'm not looking in the camera, sorry, that music was sort of missing, the venues and playing. It was like an empty hole. And then Cass, my friend, told me about your open mic, and it really changed my life to be able to play. So thank you for letting music stay alive, which is really a big thing you're doing. And also thank you for doing this interview and creating a sanctuary for artists. It's a really awesome
Thank you.
I was sitting in my mess and covered up by my distress. Your face made my whole white chest explode like arrows in the darkness. And why did you get this far into my heart? Yeah, why you worked so hard and love found us in the middle of the night. I almost gave up fright. You walked away, walked away, walked away. Couldn't have all me. Now I see, now I see, now I see. I need me. I need me. I need me. I need me. I miss you and I'm holding on tight. How could this be? How could this be our last talk tonight? And I'll take the time I'll need to grieve, and I'll never forget our days in harmony. And why did you get this far into my heart? Yeah, why you worked so hard and love found us in the middle of the night. I almost gave up fright. You walked away, walked away, walked away. Couldn't have all me. Now I see, now I see, now I see. I need me. 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 I need me.
That one, I have to say, is my favorite so far.
Wow. It's so funny. I never know what someone's favorite's going to be. It's different every single time.
I just love the lyrics of that. I love some of the quirky chords and the melody, like the whole thing. I just
Thank
I like
That
it
was-
reminded me of Kate Bush a bit.
Yes.
I love Kate
Yes.
Bush.
Yeah.
That's such a compliment. Thank you. I love Kate Bush so much.
absolutely amazing. And although we are out of time, it's a 1-hour show. Before we go, first thing I'm going to do is just remind you all, if you want to donate to Rafter's Tavern to keep us going, www.venmo.com/Rafters-Tavern. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I would also like to say what a great show it has been. What a pleasure it has been to have Emily Keating here playing her beautiful songs, which you can find on Spotify. Look her up, Emily Keating. You'll be seeing more of her in the future. I am absolutely certain of it. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, to all you out there, I hope you have air conditioning. I hope you're safe. I hope you're keeping your masks on. And as Emily says, the president is wrong.
Oh.